Hey everyone, and welcome back. Sorry I got so emotional in the last episode, but wow, that one got to me, even though I've seen it like 5 different times. So, welcome back again to my daily episodes of California versus Larry Milliete's preliminary hearing from 2023. Again, this case is local to me. Maybe that's why I'm so much more emotional about it. But I am hoping to attend this trial, at least some of it in person. So it is my hope to give you some insights from the room. I can't wait to see what kind of jury is selected for this case. It's certainly an important one to me. And just a quick note, again, I'm not monetized, and that's by my choice, at least for now, at least for a long while, I think, which means you don't have to see any unwanted ads, which interrupt the program here. So, but it also means that YouTube doesn't push out my content as readily as some because they don't make money on me. So sorry, YouTube, but it's a personal choice. But so if you do find this information helpful, useful, educational, please do subscribe, like it, all that jazz, but especially share it, because that's the best way to keep this series and this case close to mind, so more people can care about the case of Maya Millete and the fact that she's still missing, because she may still be found. So with that, we're going to get on today with the testimony of crime scene specialist David Garber. I'm sorry about the pronunciation. He is really smart. I think you're going to be impressed, and I love the way he handles the cross with the defense attorney too. He just really knows how to stay in his lane. You can tell he's been doing this a long time. I just find it interesting to learn about all the different specialties within law enforcement, and it just really is eye-opening to study these trials. So with that, let's get started. Again, thank you for being here. I appreciate you very much. So let's see what Mr. Garber has to say.
Yes, I do. Thank you. Sir, can you please spell first, say your name and spell your last name for the record? My name is David Garber, G-A-R-B-E-R. Good afternoon, sir. Good afternoon.
Mr. Garber, what do you do for a living?
I'm a forensic specialist with the Chula Vista Police Department.
And do you have a particular title with the Chula Vista Police Department?
Forensic specialist is my job title.
Are you a sworn police officer?
I'm not. I'm a civilian employee.
Can you tell us a little bit, well, first of all, how long have you worked for the Chula Vista Police Department?
So there will be some question about his job, what his job is. So he identifies with his job title being forensic specialist. He's also called a crime scene specialist on many other channels. So just with that, let me stand corrected. He's a forensic specialist.
Chula Vista for approximately 18 years.
And have you been employed as a forensic crime scene specialist that entire time?
Yes, I have.
Prior to your work with the Chula Vista Police Department, were you employed somewhere else?
I was.
Where were you employed?
I was employed by the Honolulu Police Department.
How long did you work there?
I worked there for about 5 years.
And what did you do there?
Essentially the same duties as I do at Chula Vista. I'm a crime scene investigator.
And can you just kind of briefly describe for us what happened?
So my job duties include responding to crime scenes, documenting the crime scene through photographs and sketching, collecting evidence, processing for latent prints, and I do other specialized techniques such as blood-stain pattern analysis and shooting incident reconstruction.
And when the Chula Vista Police Department goes out to survey search warrant, for example, you also take photographs to document a scene or a house or location of where that search warrant took place.
Yes, I do.
And did you assist in documenting a scene during various search warrants involving the disappearance and later murder investigation regarding Maya Millete?
Yes, I did.
Did you take photographs to document the house, the residence of the Millete family at 2413 Paseo Los Gatos on January 23rd, 2021?
Yes.
Tell us a little bit about kind of your process and how you go about taking photos.
Forensic photography.
Search warrant is.
Forensic photography is a three-step process. You start with a generalized view of the scene, placing that scene within a jurisdiction. Then you move into the next section or segment of photographs. Those are setting the scene. You photograph different elements of the scene with one another so that you can push yourself in the scene, and then finally you would photograph individual items that are relevant to the scene, such as evidence or fingerprints.
Have you reviewed the photos that you took to document the Millete house on January 23rd?
Yes, I am.
Okay. You're on the approach to direct the witness to the rules for court exhibit 2?
Yes.
So there's a series of photos. They start with 2-1, and I'm going to ask you to kind of go through those photos with us to orientate us to the house that we're talking about. And so go ahead and put up on the screen there a photograph of Courts Exhibit 2-1. Do you recognize what we see in that photograph?
Yes, I do. That's the same photograph that I'm viewing in the binder.
And what is that photograph of?
This is a photograph of the front of the house at 2413 Paseo Los Gatos.
2-2 is also projected up on the screen. Can you tell us what you see in that photograph?
This photograph is also what I'm viewing in the binder, and this is
So again, because of the sound quality, just to clarify here, this is the home of Larry and Maya Millete in 2021, as well as Larry's car, one of the vehicles. They had several. This is also the home where they lived with their 3 children. And crime scene specialist, Garber, actually said he worked in Honolulu for 5 years prior. I didn't catch that on the prior viewings of this, and that is where Maya and Larry met and lived when they were quite young, and got married when they were quite young. So they had been married 21 years, but there is no connection to them. It just happens to be a coincidence. So there are a lot of people that go back and forth from Hawaii to the San Diego area. It's not uncommon.
a photograph of a black Lexus SUV that was parked in the driveway.
Photograph, I'm sorry, Courts Exhibit 2-3, what are we looking at in this photograph? What perspective do we have here?
In this photograph, I'm standing in the front right-hand corner of the yard. If you were facing the house, I would be the right-hand side. And this is a photograph towards the front door in the garage.
And that's the photograph on the screen is the same as the picture you're looking at there?
Yes, the photograph on the screen is the same as in the binder.
Okay. And photograph 2-4, or Courts Exhibit 2-4, what are we looking at there?
The photograph that's projected is the same as what I'm looking at in the binder. And this is a photograph of the front door of the residence.
And Courts Exhibit 2-4, that would be the front door of the house?
Correct.
Looking at Courts Exhibit 2-5, can you tell us what we're looking at in that photograph?
Courts Exhibit 2-5, what's projected is the same as what's in the binder. And this is a photograph of the front door, but this time it's taken from within the residence.
And so let's label here entryway, that would be the photograph we just saw. Enter through the front door, that would be the entryway of the residence.
Correct.
And again, these photos are all the way the residence looked on January 23rd, 2021, correct?
That's correct.
Looking at Courts Exhibit 2-6, tell us what we're looking at there in relation to the photo we just looked at.
The photograph in the binder is the same as what's projected. In this photograph, this is a photograph of the living room, and the location of the living room is, as you enter the house, it's off to the right of the front door.
Courts Exhibit 2-7, what are we looking at here?
This exhibit that's displayed is the same as in the binder. This is another photograph of the living room. In this photograph, I've proceeded to the back wall of the photograph, and I'm photographing towards the stairway, the front stairway, and the front door. The front door would be located on the left edge of this photograph.
So going back to 2-.
I apologize. I was muted because the kids are getting out of school right now. Sorry about that. I was just noting that by way of reminder, Maya went missing on January 7, 2021. These photographs were taken by this crime scene specialist shortly after in January of 2021, and you could still see the Christmas decorations were still up, which is rather poignant.
6, we see that Christmas tree, and it looks like a piano kind of in the background of the photo, and then looking at Courts 2-7, this photograph looks like it's looking out back over that piano.
That's correct.
Courts Exhibit 2-8, what are we looking at here?
In this exhibit, that's displayed is the same that's in the binder. This is a photograph of the front hallway of the residence. On the left edge of the photograph is the front door, and the front stairway proceeds from the middle of the photograph towards the top.
And it looks like kind of by the front door there's a shelf, or kind of shelving unit. Do you recall what was in that shelving unit?
The brown shelving unit?
Yes.
Those were shoes.
And then in kind of like a red armoire type thing, or another kind of entryway unit, what was in that unit?
In that unit, as you can see, there are backpacks and outerwear for the different individuals that live in the household.
Looking at Courts Exhibit 2-9, what are we looking at there?
The exhibit that's displayed is the same that is in the binder. In this photograph, we're looking at a hallway that stems off of that front hallway. This hallway leads to the garage room that's on the first floor and a bathroom that's back there.
So the doorway that we're looking at, the door that we're looking at, kind of straight on in this photo, 2-9, where does that door lead to?
Following the hallway straight down, that doorway in the middle of the frame leads to the garage.
And if you were to turn left, where would you end up?
Turning left on that hallway, you would end up at a bathroom.
And what about turning right before you get to the door that leads to the garage?
To the right is a bedroom.
Looking at Courts Exhibit 2-10, what are we looking at in that photograph?
This exhibit is the same that's in the binder. In this exhibit, there are two photographs. On the left-hand photograph, we're looking at a closet that's in that hallway that leads to the garage. You can see on the left edge of the photograph, there's that red armoire that was in the front hallway. And then the photograph on the right hand of this exhibit is what was inside of that closet. It shows a safe and some jackets.
And what was located inside that closet of significance of your home?
The significance was that safe.
Something inside the safe?
I recovered a few firearms and some digital storage devices out of that safe.
Looking at Courts Exhibit 2-11, what are we looking at in that photograph?
In this photograph, what's displayed is the same that's in the binder. This is the living room that's situated next to that room with the piano.
You might want to just take note here. He mentioned that he took a few firearms from the safe at this time. This is going to come up later. And if you saw my case review and the timeline, you'll understand the significance of this.
Across from the hallway leading to the garage, the red armoires center this photograph to give you a reference of positioning.
So looking out over that dining room table towards that door, because again, that door leads to the garage.
That is correct.
Looking at 2-12, what is that photograph of?
This exhibit, which is the same that's in the binder, this is the bathroom that was located in the hallway leading to the garage.
I think you'd say if you go to the garage, that door leading to the garage, if you turn left, you'd see this, the bathroom.
That's correct.
Okay. And then 2-13, what are we looking at there?
In this exhibit, which is the same that's in this binder, this is these are photographs of that room that's on the first floor. In the photograph towards the right, I'm standing within the room photographing over the bed that's located in that room. On the left edge is the door that leads out to that hallway, which leads to the garage. And then in the left-hand photograph, that's a photograph of the closet in that same bedroom.
And then the clothing in that guest bedroom closet, could you tell whether or not it was male, female?
The clothing is primarily male-looking clothing.
And did it appear to be adult or a child's male clothing?
Adult clothing.
Looking at 2-14, what are we looking at there? What perspective are we looking at in the dining room?
In this exhibit, which is the same as in the binder, this is the dining room that's located in the residence. So this room is adjacent to that front room with the piano and across from the hallway that leads to the garage.
And when you say adjacent, is there a wall or anything in between those two rooms, the front room with the piano and the dining room area?
It's a half wall. As you can see on the right edge of the photograph, there's the plant on top of the black piano.
I don't know, I the witness to provide him the laser pointer. I mean, if he wants to help direct us,
Yes.
the photos.
I understand.
Well, just, you know,
Thank you.
that's the most important thing. So, looking at 2-15, what are we looking at here?
This exhibit that's projected is the same that I'm viewing in the binder. This is a photograph of a small hallway or an entryway from that dining room into the kitchen. This is kind of on the back side of that dining room.
So if we're looking back at 2-14, where would that kind of passageway to the kitchen be in this photograph?
That passageway is towards the left edge, center edge of the photograph. My pointer is going up and down right.
So kind of on the left, and about in the middle of the photograph, just to the left of the light fixture, appears to be a doorway, and we're kind of indicating that area.
That is correct.
And for the record, he actually did use the laser pointer to highlight that.
So walking through that little passageway, what room would you end up through?
So walking through this passageway, you end up in the kitchen.
2-16, what are we looking at here?
The exhibit that's projected is the same that I'm viewing in the binder. This is a photograph of the kitchen. In this photograph, I've walked through that passageway just into the kitchen and photographed along one wall of the kitchen.
And if you were to, it looks like there's a TV, and you described kind of if you were to walk towards that TV, the house, as you walk from the kitchen towards that TV room?
So as you walk through the kitchen, once you pass the island that's in the foreground of the photograph, you will come to the back stairway of the residence, which is kind of the center of this photograph going up, and then into the TV room.
And then it looks like there's kind of some red drapes there on to the right. What is that?
That's a door that leads to the backyard.
2-17, what are we looking at here?
In Exhibit 2-17, that's what's projected is the same as what's in the binder. This is another photograph of the kitchen. In this photograph, I've just moved to the another corner of the kitchen photograph back towards the kitchen and the back stairway.
What about course exhibit 2-18?
This exhibit, which is the same that's in the binder, this is a photograph of the back stairway. I've climbed up the stairway and photographed back down towards the TV room. So the couch that's kind of the lower center of the photograph, that's in that TV room.
Course exhibit 2-19, what are we looking at here?
This exhibit is the same that is in this binder. This is a photograph of the front stairway. So now I've moved to the front of the residence and photographing from the front entrance up towards the second floor.
And if you were to walk up the front staircase, where would you be in relation to walking up the stairs from the back staircase?
The two staircases meet at a landing, kind of the center right of this photograph. And using my pointer, it's sort of this area.
Indicating essentially the top of the stairs. 2-20, which is projected up on the screen now. What are we looking at here?
The exhibit that's projected is the same that's in this binder. And this is a photograph of that landing where the two stairways meet. In this photograph, I'm photographing from the main bedroom's door looking towards the landing of the stairways.
And there's kind of looks like a red bucket on the floor. Can you use that at all to orientate us to where the staircases end up?
Yes, that red bucket is on that landing where the two staircases meet. So on the left edge of this photograph is the staircase that leads to the front door, and on the right side of the photograph is the staircases that leads to the TV room.
And the vantage point of this photograph is from where?
This is pretty much the doorway to the main bedroom.
Course exhibit 2-21, what are we looking at?
In this exhibit, what's projected is the same as what's in the binder. In this photograph, I'm essentially standing where that red bucket was located, facing towards the doorway to the main bedroom, which is what's on the left edge of that photograph.
I'm sorry?
The doorway to the main bedroom is sort of the left half of the photograph.
Okay. And through the doorway we see the dresser and a mirror.
Correct.
Looking at 2-22, we will looking at this exhibit.
This exhibit, 222, is the same as what's in the binder. This photograph is another view of the entrance into the main bedroom. Right at the very edge of this photograph, you see the front edge of that dresser with a mirror, and then on the left side is the doorway that leads up to the front and back steps.
Looking at 2-23, what are we looking at in this photograph?
This photograph, what is displayed is the same that's in the binder. This photograph is looking into the main bedroom. Essentially, I'm standing at that doorway, looking towards the back of the house, or the back of the bedroom.
The inside of that main bedroom?
Correct.
2-24, what are we looking at in this photograph?
In this photograph, what is displayed is the same as in the binder. This is a desk that is in the main bedroom. This photograph just shows a computer and some other electronics that were on the desk.
And again, this is the way the desk looked January 23rd, 2021.
That's correct.
2-25, what are we looking at in this photograph?
This photograph, which is the same as in the binder, this is another photograph of the main bedroom. In this photograph, I'm standing next to the desk, photographing towards the one of the walls of the bedroom. Off to my left in this photograph would be the...
Okay, so sorry, I didn't want to have you hear all the noise from the kids coming from finishing up with school. So in any case, he just clarified these are photographs from January 23rd, 2021. So he didn't take any of the decorations down from that time, which, is neither here nor there. She did like to decorate for Christmas a lot. You can tell that. Also, I don't know if you saw me trying to look in on the photograph in that kitchen. It looked like there was a bike in there. So I thought that was kind of interesting. There would be a bike in the middle of the kitchen, but hey, when mom's away, I guess.
Door leading to a patio on the the main bedroom. And as you can see on the right edge is the bed in the bedroom.
2-26, what are we looking at in this photograph?
This photograph, which is the same as in the binder, this is another view of the main bedroom. I've moved to the corner that was just photographed and I'm photographing back towards the entrance of the bedroom. It shows the bed in the front, the foreground of the photograph, and then in the background you can see the mirrored door leading into the closet of the main bedroom.
Okay. And then I'm going to just zoom in on something as well. Do you recall what was on the shelf next to the entrance to the closet?
There were numerous purses on the shelf.
Looking at 2-27, what are we looking at in this photograph?
This photograph is the same as what's in the binder. It's another view of the master bedroom. On the right edge of this photograph in the background is the entrance to the bedroom. In the center of the photograph is the entrance into the closet.
2-28, what are we looking at in this photo?
This photograph, what's displayed is what is in the binder. This is a photograph of the closet in the main bedroom.
And did you go into the closet in the main bedroom?
Yes, I did.
And what describe yourself in the closet?
Inside the closet, it's a walk-in closet. It's kind of divided in half by a series of shelves, a shelf unit. There's clothes all along the walls of the whole closet, and then in the shelf unit are boxes of more clothing, purses, and personal items.
2-29, what are we looking at in these two photographs?
The photograph that's displayed is the same that is in the binder. In this exhibit, the photograph on the left-hand side is...
I don't know why he can't just stipulate that all of the photographs that they're looking at on the projector are the same as what he's looking at in the binder, because I thought that the attorney has stipulated that in the beginning, but he keeps saying it, so I just find that really interesting, but okay.
A photograph of the closet. In this view, I'm photographing out towards the main bedroom, and then the photograph on the right-hand side. I've walked around that divider, the cabinet divider in the closet, and I'm photographing towards the back wall of the photograph. Back wall of the closet in this photograph.
And could you tell whether or not this was adult or children's clothing?
Primarily adult type clothing.
And male or female?
Majority was female clothing.
And 2-30, what are we looking at there?
This is another photograph within the main closet. This photograph is kind of the bottom level of clothes that were hanging along the back wall of the closet.
Now, looking at these different photos of the closet, were there any sections of clothing that appeared to be missing? Anything that indicated that I don't know, certain things, clothing had been removed from the closet?
The closet appeared to be completely full of clothing.
Looking at 2-31, what are we looking at?
So she wanted to clarify that Maya hadn't packed up to leave. So it doesn't appear that she intentionally left the home, packed up. Larry has contended that she took off and left the family behind, but there was no indication that she took any clothing.
Yeah, here was our vantage point here in this photograph.
In this exhibit, which is the same as what's in this binder, this is a photograph of the main bedroom. In this photograph, I'm standing essentially in front of the rack of purses, looking towards the bathroom that's connected to this bedroom.
And if you recall, what was on the shelving unit right next to that bathroom?
More purses and personal items.
Looking at 2-32, what are we looking at in this photograph?
In this exhibit.
So again, the implication is it didn't appear that she took a purse with her, or any toiletries or anything of that nature.
Which is the same as in the binder. This is two photographs of the...
I'm sorry, I meant to mention earlier when I accidentally muted myself, and I do apologize for that. Not sure I'm going to bother cutting it out. Just bear with me. This is not the first time that the authorities have entered the home. This was their first search warrant, as far as I remember. They did come in. I believe Larry allowed them to enter, but this is the first time they came in with a search warrant, to my memory, in that I covered in the timeline.
The bathroom in the main bedroom. If you were to walk into that area towards the right, it would be the right-hand photograph. You would see the bathtub. To the left, as you enter, is the sinks and vanities, and then a toilet area. The glass squares that are shown on the right-hand edge of the left photograph, that's the shower within that bathroom.
So if you were to walk into the bathroom, essentially you'd see the photo on the right, to the right, the bathtub, and the photo on the left, to the left as you walk in.
That's correct.
Looking at 2-33, what is this photograph?
The exhibit that's displayed is the same that's in the binder, and this is a photograph of one of the sink and vanity areas in that main bathroom. On the left-hand edge of the photograph are those glass squares of the shower.
And again, did it appear that there was kind of items missing, or in other words, were there any areas that appeared to be missing items of makeup or toiletry type things in the vanity area?
Nothing seemed to be out of the ordinary in my view.
Looking at 2-34, what are we looking at in this photograph?
The photograph that's displayed is the same that's in the binder. In this photograph, I've moved from the main bedroom out into the hallway on the second floor. Essentially, I'm standing at the meeting point of the front and back stairways, but I'm photographing towards the front of the house.
And as you're photographing towards the front of the house, can you tell what name is on that doorway towards the front of the house?
That's Laura.
How's that spelled?
L-A-R-A.
That's how it's spelled. It's spelled L-A-R-A.
2-35 is up on the screen now. What are we looking at in that photograph?
I thought that was pronounced Lara. He's pronouncing it Laura, but the prosecutor's also pronouncing their last name Millete, and the defense attorney, who I think is probably more correct, is pronouncing it Millete.
The photographs that are displayed are the same as in the binder. These two photographs are of a bedroom on the second level. What you're seeing in the photograph on the left-hand edge of this display, it's a photograph from within the bedroom showing the front door, looking out towards the front door of the room, or the door of the room. And in the right-hand photograph, it's a photograph from the doorway looking into the room.
And can you kind of describe how it appeared this room was used?
This room appeared to be just extra, like a storage room.
And where is the house 2 stories?
Yes, it is.
This is bedroom is on the second story.
That's right.
And then looking at 2-36, what are we looking at in this photograph?
This exhibit is the same as what's in the binder. This exhibit shows 2 photographs. This is a room that's directly across from where the 2 stairs meet. This is on the second floor. In the right-hand photograph, you can see the doorway into a bathroom, a hallway bathroom there, which is centered of that photograph. On the left edge of that photograph is the door into the laundry room. And then the photograph on the left-hand half of this display is a photograph of that laundry room. For reference, the shoe rack that's depicted in the right-hand photograph is the shoe rack that's displayed on the door in the left-hand photograph.
And
you just used your laser pointer to the location of the shoe rack and move those.
Yes, I did use laser pointer.
and kind of in the photo, the photo on the right-hand side looks like a painting on the wall with kind of an orange color. Where in relation to that painting is that extra bedroom? Just so we can kind of orientate where if you were just in the extra bedroom, how did you get to where the hallway, bathroom, and laundry are?
So the extra bedroom is on the other side of that painting. Using my laser pointer on the right-hand edge of the right photograph.
I mean, video would have been so much more effective, but
You can see just the bottom part of the doorway leading into that extra room.
Looking at 2-37, what are we looking at in this photograph?
This photograph that's displayed is the same that's in this binder. And this is a photograph of the doorway leading into the first bedroom you would come across as you were in the second floor hallway.
I am not going to project 2-38, but can you tell us what is depicted in 2-38?
Exhibit 2-38 depicts two photographs of that first bedroom on the second floor. One of the photographs shows the bed in the room, and the second shows kind of the desk and dresser within that room.
Did you say that was the first or second?
First bedroom as you were in that second floor hallway.
And with that would be not counting the quote-unquote extra.
That is correct.
Okay, so this bedroom would be the first bedroom that you come across, in addition to the main bedroom that appear to be inhabited as a bedroom?
Correct.
Is that fair to say? And can you, would it be fair to say it looked like a child's bedroom?
That's fair to say.
And in fact, was it identified as one of the children by the name of Melanie in her bedroom?
Yes, it was.
Now looking at 2-39, what do we see in that photograph?
In Exhibit 2-39, this is a photograph on the second floor of the residence. This photograph shows a hallway which leads into sort of a loft area that's on the second floor.
So if we back up to when you were standing from the main bedroom, well actually, when you were kind of standing in the hallway hallway from the second floor, looking down towards the bedroom with the name Laura on it, how would you get to this little hallway if you were walking down the hallway towards Laura's bedroom?
So this hallway is just in front of that doorway leading into Lara's bedroom.
Looking at 2-40, what are you looking at in that photograph?
This exhibit, which is the same as what's in the binder, this is a photograph of that loft room. I'm standing on the wall that's above the kind of front entrance, looking towards the side of the house. In this photograph, you can see a desk that's on the left-hand edge and a couch and boxes that are on the other side of the photograph.
Looking at 2-41, what are we looking at in this photograph?
In this exhibit, which is the same that's in this binder, this is another photograph of that loft room. In this photograph, I'm photographing towards the hallway leading to the bedrooms. On the right-hand edge of the photograph is the desk that was in the previous exhibit.
And so, as you look, there's a couple of open doorways. And as you look out in the foreground of this photograph, what would be those doorways? Just orientate us to what we just saw.
The doorways that are in the photograph, using my pointer, is the doorway that's on kind of the right half of the photograph depicts the laundry room. If you look carefully, you can see that same shoe rack on the doorway. And then using my pointer, the doorway that's on the left half of the photograph is the doorway into the main laundry room.
2-42, I'm not going to project. Can you tell us what we see in that photograph?
In this exhibit, it's two photographs of Laura's room. One of the photographs kind of shows the bed and the closet, and the other photograph shows the closet and the doorway.
And similarly, I'm not going to project 2-43. What do we see in that photograph?
In that exhibit, it's a photograph of a desk that's Laura's room.
Looking at 2-44, what do we see in that photograph?
The exhibit that's displayed is the same that's in this binder. This photograph is taken outside of the house. It's the side yard of the residence. So for reference, one of the first photographs that we talked about was a photograph from corner of the front yard, which was the right-hand side as you face the house. This is that same side of the house, just the backyard.
Go ahead.
So in this photograph, I'm shooting from the backyard towards the front yard, that front right corner.
And if you were standing in the front yard or in the street in front of the house, on the right or left side of it?
This would be on the right-hand side of the house.
Going to 2-45, what are we looking at in that photograph?
This exhibit, which is the same that's in this binder, this is a photograph of the back corner of the backyard. This is that same right-hand side of the house. So if you're facing the house, this is along the right-hand side of it. In this photograph, you can see a fireplace and then a black fence that runs along the back of the backyard.
Can you tell us a little bit about how that backyard is situated with that black fence?
So the yard, the borders kind of an easement. And I think there's a drainage or a walkway back there. So that black fence, I believe, belongs to the city and is used to create the boundary of the house to that easement.
But then, kind of on the other side then of that easement would be the backs of another set of houses.
Correct.
Looking at 2-46, what are we looking at in this photograph?
I don't know about you, but I find looking at these photographs where Maya, probably the last thing she saw or did was in her home. I just find it so disturbing. I know it's necessary, obviously, I'm not criticizing, but it's just so disturbing. I think this case affects me more because it's so local to me. Very hard to look at, even though there's really not that much that we're looking at. They definitely had a lot of possessions, didn't lack for, finances. It's just what's going through my mind is it's just crazy that she couldn't put together enough money to hire a divorce attorney because he was hoarding her money.
This exhibit is the same that's in this binder. This is a photograph essentially taken in front of that fireplace. This is photographed back towards the house. The balcony that you see on the house, that is attached to the main room of the house. And underneath that balcony, that's the kitchen of the residence.
So that where the balcony is, that would be that main bedroom with the walk-in closet and the attached bathroom with the women's clothing in that closet. That balcony goes to that bedroom.
That's correct.
Sorry, which bedroom was that again?
The main bedrooms. And then 2-47, what are we looking at in this photograph?
This photograph that's displayed is the same that's in this binder. This is another photograph of this, I should say this is a photograph of the side of the house. If you were standing in front of the house looking at it, this would be along the left edge of the property. In this photograph, I'm standing at the backyard, photographing towards the front.
And the landscape of both the front and the backyard, is it mostly hardscape or is there solid landscape?
It's mostly hardscape.
I have a question about 2-47. Was that how it has a number of shovels and other types of equipment leaning against the wall? Was that how it was when you went to photograph?
Yes, I photographed the crime scene as is.
Did any of the law enforcement officers executing the search warrant place those items?
Not that I'm aware.
Looking at 2-48, what are we looking at in that photograph?
So it'll be interesting in the trial if any more evidence comes out about these shovels, all this equipment. Larry did not use those kind of things for work. They're saying it was hard landscaping, so it's kind of odd that they would have those kind of shovels. I do know that, and I covered this in the timeline and in the case review, that they did enjoy going off-roading with their vehicles. Maybe the shovels were something that they brought along with them for that. They might have been going rock hounding or something like that. I don't know. The fact that they brought it up in the preliminary trial signals to me that there might be more evidence about those shovels.
This exhibit that's displayed is the same that's in the binder. This is a photograph of a truck that was parked inside the garage of the residence.
And just to kind of jump back to the question that the judge was asking, when you go to assist to document execution of search warrant, is there a standard procedure with regard to taking photos before or after the search is conducted?
Yes.
Tell us about that.
So when we arrive at a crime scene, generally a crime scene or search warrant, we're briefed on the circumstances of the incident by the lead investigators and officers responding. After that point, the first thing that is done is I go through and take photographs of the scene as is prior to any search that's conducted. After completion of the search, I'll go back and photograph the scene as we left it after the search.
All right, thank you. I have no questions.
I'm going to take a break at 3:15.
Let's take a break, Hannah.
At 3:15.
15 minutes.
Okay, so with that, they're going to take a 15-minute break and we will hear the cross-examination of this crime scene specialist, forensic specialist, Garber. So pause for one moment. I'll be right back.